a low profile, good mobility, a rounded turret and a choice of 2 guns. You can get a Scavenger for free in World of Tanks Blitz when you win 50 games. But is it worth going for this tier 5 medium tank? I'm going to show you in today's video. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. Welcome back to the channel. My name is martindogger and today I'm presenting you a guide and review on the Scavenger, one of the 3 tanks you can get in the mad games in World of Tanks Blitz. And this one is the easiest to get. You have the Gravedigger as well, you have the Tankenstein, which was there before from an earlier Halloween event, and this is the Scavenger. It was featured on the channel before in that small little sneak peek that I've shown you. And I was really thinking, right, this is going to be a light tank. This is going to be an AMX EOC BIS on steroids. And in some ways it is, and in some ways it sure isn't. It's not a light tank, it's a medium tank. You can already see it's not as quick as the EOC BIS. What it does share in common is the, from time to time, fairly bad penetration, especially if you mount the Shellthrower, because the Scavenger can mount 2 guns. You have a choice. One of them is this one, a howitzer-like gun with an AP round, a heat shell and an HE round with fairly bad penetration numbers for tier 5, and especially if you see a lot of tier 6 tanks. If you can get to the sides, you can penetrate them no problems whatsoever. But yeah, it's not a brilliant gun. It's a bit like a Chinese medium in that regard. This is another Scavenger. Your typical tier 5 armor profile, some good bits in the front. Once you over angle your sights and open your sights, you are fully penetrable by nearly all the tanks you will face on the tier, except if they hit your tracks. And the other gun the tank can mount, and that's the gun that Scavenger was mounting, is the Scourge, which is your usual 160 alpha gun, and 160 alpha at tier 5 is something that a lot of tanks are mounting. The gun itself isn't too bad, it's not a brilliant one. The tank itself isn't too bad, it's not a brilliant one, but it's a really fun one to play. I've played, was it like 40-50 games or something in the tank so far, and I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it far much than I would think of a fantasy tank, which would come for free. It's not a trash tank. It's not OP either, which is of course understandable. Otherwise, everybody in tier 5 would drive a tank they would get for free, or just, well, for free, play 50 games, win 50 games. That's better to say you can play 80 and maybe win 50, but win 50 games and you get the tank. But I think this is one of the best things Wargaming have done in ages. The Mad Games mode itself is just big, bonkers fun. And getting this tank out for free for winning 50 games, it's just, well, a good thing. So, let's dive into stats and numbers. And we're going to do that using Blitz Hanger, as you can see here. And comparing the Scavenger to other tier 5 mediums, you can see the hit point pool 700 is not a lot. View range fairly good. In terms of damage, if you mount the Shellthrower, you get damage 250. And 250 at tier 5 is quite a lot for the gun. The DPM fairly low in the middle of the pack, and penetration is just not good. It's a howitzer, so that makes it a flanking tank really. However, it is a bigger gun, so devices and crew damage fairly good. Caliber 94mm, rate of fire on the low side, lowest of them all if you compare it to other tier 5 memes. And the gun handling is just abysmal. Yeah, bad. However, you have 20 degrees of reverse speed, 50 kilometers top speed forward. I've had a bit of problems getting to 50 easily because the effective power to weight ratio and reverse speed is on the low side and on the mediocre side really. It's not the quickest of tanks there is. But if you mount this gun, which is the Scourge, you can see your DPM is just a little bit lower. Not much, just a little bit. But the penetration is better. Far better than it is with the Shellthrower. There it is, 90 versus 110. You also get APCR instead of heat, which gives you 130 in terms of pen and 105. So I think if you want to play the tank sensibly, this is the better gun. Right, what was I going to say next? Yeah, the Scourge gun also has a better aim time, as you can see. Base aim time, dispersion is better, dispersion factors when moving. This is the more sensible gun. But I think in a way this gun can be a lot more fun. So yeah, it completely depends on you what you want to do with the tank. I think you should mount this one, Scourge. I'm using calibrated shells, improved modules and improved optics on the tank. Then a gun laying drive and vertical stabilizers to really aid the aiming speed. Enhanced armor, you might think, why do that on a medium? Well, that font is fairly bouncy. I'm going to show you that in just a second. So that's why I'm using this one. It gives me a little bit more in terms of bounces. So scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, armor profile. Look at the 3D model, and we're going to zoom out a little bit. And if you then look at this bit, the front, it's only 76, but there's some really troll shapes over here, and this is really troll as well. So if you can use that maximum gun depression of, well, only 6, but why not use that anyway, you get some more armor on your front. This is still only 80, but it's a strange armor profile on the front, and I've had moments where I've bounced a complete clip from a Lux or a Leopard on the front, and when they hit the tracks and the sides, they wouldn't go through. You can side script at a pinch as well. And the turret itself, yeah, can be fairly bouncy too. I think it's a bit of a hold-on tank. But like I said, when you run into a Leopard and they start shooting you on the front and you have that added armor, you can get a surprising amount of bounces really. But as with any tier 5 medium, basically any medium tank in the game, I wouldn't rely on your armor. I would start relying on the things that a medium does best, that's going to flanks. And I was here on HIMMELSDORF and I was looking at the lineup. I was thinking, right, there's a medium over there. That is the Panzer 3/4, 5/4, that Ram Panzer. And I wanted to find out the other tanks as well. Oh, you gotta love this as well. Forgot to mention it. When you move forwards or backwards, there's flames coming out of your exhaust. That's just brilliant. Hey, just look at that. Hello. Look at me. Look at me. I've got a barbecue on my back. I mean, it's a fantasy tank. I don't care about fantasy tanks. I really don't. I'd rather have some more tanks that were actual tanks in the game rather than just this one. But the overall design looks pretty good. It's like an ERC BIS or a squashed ARL lower hull, and then they pulled a sea mine out of the sea and they chopped the top off and they stuck a gun in. There's something like a flamethrower on the front of it, or that little probe thingy which is on the front of jet fighters to notice how quick they are going. And you can see once you get the tank up to speed, it takes a fair bit to get there. But it's reasonably mobile. It gets the job done. And even that big derp gun, if you get the flanks of tanks like an AT2, you can penetrate the sides, no problem. The tank doesn't traverse that quick. It bleeds speed in the corners, you can see. But other than that, a lovely little tank. And enemy armor is damaged. Yeah, I mean, an AT2 isn't the most mobile tank there is. So, yeah, sorry team for letting it die. But I knew that if I didn't push on the DW2 and on the AT2, we would have lost this game probably. There's going to be a Matilda Black Prince there as well. There it is. That has an alarming rate of fire and it can penetrate me no problems whatsoever. But I can just move around now. You can see he's going to get another shot into me, but that's fine. I've got 250 alpha, which means I can kill him in 2 shots easily. And in that regard, the derp gun is the better choice if you know you will be facing tiers 5 and 4. But that's not the case. If you run into, say, double KV2s left at the end, or a KV1S, 2 of them, or an ARL will just chew you up and spit you out. But at tier 5, when you're flanking, this one becomes a bit of a, yeah, Chinese medium-ish tank destroyer really, a derper. Then it changes roles compared to when you mount the Scourge gun. When you mount the Scourge, it's your usual medium at tier 5. And we managed to do nearly 1800 damage on this one. Second class top gun. We've got a high caliber, and I had another game set up to show, which was also on mine, but I decided not to because it was more or less of the same gameplay, and that was a first class. This is a mastery. It's early days, obviously, so you might be able to get easy aces in this tank still. But this shows what the tank can do in a proper position and what you can do when it comes to hull down. Because 6 degrees of gun depression allows you to go to positions like this and then shoot tanks. You're quick enough to move back and to go into little nooks and crannies like this. And if you then manage to track a tank into place, there it is, you can then finish him off. Pop the adrenaline, he has fired his clip off, I catch him on a reload and we can kill him. Lovely, jubbly. No problems whatsoever. Going to be very sneaky and a bit risky shooting this T-34. Is it a type? I'm not sure. It's either one of them. Right, we bounce one on our turret, I think, from the KV-1. It's a T-34. And he's down now. But like I said, 6 degrees of gun depression, it gets the job done. That Death Toaster was way too aggressive, but he's not in a bad spot for me because he provides me some more cover really. That's a Crusader down now, we've got 2 kills. And we can just start working here really. And as long as you can keep the tank held down, you've got a good armor profile against same tier targets. Yeah, I like this one. I like the event, I like the fact that it's possible to get tanks for new players fairly easily, even if it is at tier 5. So yeah, I would recommend getting this one and then using the Scourge gun. I've had fun in this one, really. It's 50 games. Just play 50 games in a tank, and you have a tank that's really fun to play. I'm going a bit balls deep in here in this one. I was hoping I would ram that AMX hard enough to kill him, but I don't, so I bounce a shot from him, which isn't surprising because he has a poultry gun. I can then kill with just a little bit of luck that T-25, and I can kill the duck as well. There we go, lovely. That leaves just a KV-1 and a Hatset to clean up, but we've got one tank AFK, apparently. Yeah, it seems to be AFK. We've got an AMX ELC Biz, but in terms of hit points, I'm a one-shot to the KV. I think the AMX, yeah, AMX is a one-shot. Don't know what the A32 is, but he's probably a one-shot as well. I missed that shot. Drive back. Don't shoot me. Oh, thank you. You're going to shoot the AMX. Right, I'm going to shoot him again then. Through the KV-1. No idea where the Hatzer is, and it's an A20 finish though. We've got 1832 damage done, 810 blocked. It's going to be a bit more in terms of block damage because that Hatzer has the dirt mounted. And that means that we get, what is it, 330 blocked here, move back and forth just a little bit. Yeah, there it is. Move back and forth just a little bit to keep the armor yeah, a bit more unpredictable. And we're going to low roll this Hatzer. I was thinking, right, this is in the back, readily roll this, and then... No, it wasn't a nice shot. You left him on 11, you nub. It wasn't a nice shot. You should have killed him. It would have been a Redley. But hey ho. This is a tank, the Scavenger. I think, like, and I've said it before, I think this is one of the best things that wargaming have done in ages. The Mad Games mode is just big bunkers fun. It doesn't affect your statistics whatsoever. It's complete madness. You might think you're winning and then you get focus fight and someone pulls that irradiate perk and you're completely down in just 2 or 3 seconds. It doesn't affect your stats. It's a big fun mode, and this tank is a big ton of fun as well. Really fun package. Quick summary, I think you would need to mount the Scourge gun. That's the best one. Use it, hold down, play it like your usual medium tank, and just enjoy the game. It's a fun tank. Go get it. 50 games. Easy. My name is martindogger. Thank you very much for watching the video.